Airgunner's Edge here. Was a bit ambitious today on the Hatsan Flash 25 cal. I managed to find a new drill bit that I did have, but I couldn't find, which was 180 thousandths. And as I mentioned before, the port was 150 thousandths. So I opened it up 20 thousandths, 22 thousandths actually. I just mic'd everything out. But yes, I took the barrel off. I had to after I drilled it, and which was a good call anyways, because here, I'll explain and I'll show you. Not on this one, but so actually opening it up 20 thousandths I didn't think was really going to be that much, but in the long run it was I think a pretty good amount. That's all cleaned up. It's chamfered. Got a little chamfer there. This is what my concern was here. Actually, I'll show you side by side. You see on this one, I have plenty of space from the center of the hole to the O-rings, and that is the tube part, valve. And this is the barrel. As you see, that hole is pretty stuffed right in between those O-rings. As you see, I have a little more taper going towards the back. Well, I found out the barrel was not absolutely, it could have gone like a 16th more from the factory, but this does stop it, the shroud, so that's as deep as it can go. So I just wanted to favor just a little bit, just towards here, so the airflow would be all direct and into the barrel. So that's why I did that. That was on purpose. This part, I managed to just sneak in there. So without me, actually, as I stressed before in that one, I would have to open this one up to go a little wider. This may be the most tune I can do to this rifle due to the fact this hole being in between these rubber O-rings. Actually, I could manipulate it a bit more and go side to side instead of straight in there, and it would allow more airflow. So I could massage this more, but this should be a good baseline anyways, 22 thousandths over. So we'll see how the airflow is like that. I'm still not going to touch the hammer. I'm going to put it all back together now. As I mentioned before with the needle here, I'm not going to touch this. There's really not too much I can do with this. One thing, let me get this back up. The one thing I could do to try to get even more, if I take this out and I could machine that, take 10 thousandths off where the pellet pusher is, I could gain a little more airflow because the air does go around that centerpiece, and it would still be strong enough. I mean, this is if I want to sneak out and get as much airflow as possible. But that's just a possibility. I probably won't touch that, but if I really get motivated, maybe I will throw it in the lathe and just take a 5 thousandths off or so. But that'll be in the future. We'll just focus on the single tune right now, and I'm going to start putting it back together. I don't know if I'll have time to test today, but yeah, so we're going to go with the 22 thousandths opening enlargement of the transfer ports, and we will see how this works out. Like I said, I got everything chamfered. This actually wasn't good to begin with. I mean, from the factory it was okay, but my test I always do, just take a Q-tip, run it around the holes. If the hairs catch, then I know it's pretty ragged. After I did all mine, and the inside also, which you have to be very careful. You got to make sure there's no pieces, nothing left, and smooth. So I run this all the way through, no hairs got pulled up, and everything is nice and smooth. But this is a good way to test if you get any ragged holes. I mean, you don't want that in there, and you don't want any little piece of flashing to come off and go into your gun either. So that's another reason why you got to make sure all the flashing is off inside the holes. Pretty clean drills though, and I polished them out, so I know I'm good there. Just a tip that you should always do if you're going to be working on guns: no loose pieces of steel in there. That's always a plus. So I'll get this back together. I was over 200 bar last time. I'm going to try just to go to 200 bar, and I might not do 40 shots. I might only do 20. I'll have to order some pellets whenever I get a chance, but so we'll just do a baseline again and see where we're at without adjusting the hammer spring. And I might give the hammer spring a half turn or maybe one, see what the difference is there. Now that it's flowing better, it might prefer a little more on that valve, but baby steps with this. And so if anybody wants to copy this and it works out beautifully, they know exactly what to do. All right, this will be part 3, I think, or part 4. I'll write it down on the video when I create the label there. All right, so until next time, I am very excited to see what this is going to do. So good shooting, and have a great night.